You are listening to the Earplug Podcast Network, a Fanboys Inc. production.
Can you dig it, sucker? Ooh, yeah!
We boo you because you're both a couple of world-class international a-holes.
Time to play the game.
Welcome to the
Yo!
podcast. And whoa, Lewis is yelling and flexing. Welcome to the first episode of the Faces and Heels podcast in the post-Vince era. And welcome to the final episode of season 2 of the Faces and Heels podcast, but not to fret. We're going to be back at the end of August, and we're starting off with Rip Bison as our guest on August 30th.
Yeah, Rip and I look alike, don't I? I got the same beard, same haircut, like Joan Jett. Yeah, he's not as big as me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's working out in the gym, in the Dun Gym.
That's right. Hey, I'm not wearing any pants.
You know, what else is new? That might be the only thing that's new in pro wrestling this week.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you, when you come back, you better have your laptop fixed. Excuse me.
Well, I've got a laptop that I'm going to be purchasing on our break. The laptop will be here brand new. Don't you worry.
Well, thank you very much, dude. We have, look at that. Joe, what's going on? I want to say congratulations to Joe because I have yet to say congratulations on the new house, brother. Congratulations very much. I've been seeing the pictures. I want to say congratulations. Much love to you and the family. The kids are all getting big, but I want to say congratulations on the new house. Man, it looks styling in the photos. I just want to say that. And Eric is in the house. Good evening, Eric. Lots and lots of news going on and things happening. I mean, you were live last night because I had Angry Geeks. Tell me what you did last night when you went live.
I was kind of excited to watch the first post-Vince episode of Monday Night Raw. I mean, how crazy is it that the first one Triple H is technically in charge of is at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, it was. I watched very little of it tonight while I was cooking dinner, waiting for Rose to get home, waiting to come on here and chat with you about all this news. And I was laughing because, I mean, you know how I feel about Theory, and the whole daddy's not home or daddy's gone. I love the opening of Raw, and I am pulling for Roman comes Saturday night, and Theory just getting the crap kicked out of him. I'm digging it so much, and Roman's growing on me right now, so I am pulling for Roman until he wrestles Drew. But that whole thing was hilarious, and the whole daddy's not here, I think that kind of took Heyman by surprise. Yes, Eric said, who's your daddy? Very much. I think that took Heyman by surprise because he kind of broke character. If you watch the film, he covered his face and walked away from camera shot and walked to the corner, to the end right-hand corner, and started laughing. And even the Usos put their heads down because I think that line, it could have been a shoot, must have been ad-libbed, because it was hilarious, man. Now, I mean, and I'm thinking that's my theory on how they're really treating this Theory. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because Drew was pretty damn stiff during that match. And Eric said that he caught that. Yeah, I mean, Heyman he started laughing, broke character. They all did when Roman said that. Your
It was
thoughts on that, Jack?
funny. I was laughing when he said that. That was great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I mean, in New York, the New York crowd is vicious. They were I mean, especially when said, when Roman told them, calm down, it's his first time. They were just, I mean, completely vicious. And we all know how the New York crowd is, especially at MSG. They were just, I mean, tearing that boy up. Especially when they heard Drew's music and he came out and just beat the living crap out of him. It was just like, and Lashley, when he came out, they loved him beating on that guy. I mean, wow.
Yeah, it was no mystery that could be the case. I mean, I'm sure they were all prepared for it. I know Austin Theory was doing some hyping before the show outside Madison Square Garden. He's out there with his selfie stick and ranting and raving and, kind of mixing it up with the crowd. I thought he did a great job. I like where it's going. I mean, how can you not make the comparison to John Cena? It's hard not to. I like where Austin Theory's doing. I really liked him in was it Progress before he came into the WWE. A lot of the guys we're seeing in NXT and WWE and AEW had a lot of work prior to that. And I mean, I don't know. I think there's potential for Austin Theory. Certainly needs work, and Triple H isn't going to undo everything that Vince has done over the last how many years, but it's a start. So let's see what happens. I think this is a good beginning. I don't think SummerSlam is going to be a Triple H signature stamp, but maybe we'll see little hints of things starting to change.
Oh, absolutely. Eric says Theory was a sacrificial lamb last night. Yes, he was. It started Friday night on SmackDown when Brock beating the crap out of him and just like boiled over into Raw. Now, mind you, I was telling Jack backstage, I did not watch the whole entire Raw. I only watched what I saw tonight, which was up until the Lashley Drew match. I didn't even see the follow up to that. What happened? I didn't see the outcome. So if you guys want to spoil it, go ahead. I know there was an injury during the main event. Jack did spoil that for me, so I don't care. So let's talk about it. And my son is here, Neil. What does Neil say? That's a lot of words for me, Jack.
Yeah, Neil says, I'm genuinely interested to see where they go now that Vince is gone and the show is going TV 14, 14. If that's still happening. Yeah. I think
it says excited, not interested.
I mean,
Uncle Jack.
What?
it says excited, not interested. Yes.
My phone too, so it'd be kind of Lewis.
Okay. All right, we're both going to be blind tonight.
The bottom line is that, TV 14 would suit the WWE really well, but they've been making tons of money in merch. They're selling a lot of this stuff to kids. Maybe, my theory is that if they really are TV 14, maybe this is preparing for MJF. I think it's going to be a big mistake for MJF to come to WWE thinking the grass is greener. If not, he will only get pushed for the first 6 months. He'll be a mid-carder for the rest of his career. He isn't going to get away with a lot of the stuff he thinks he is and that he does in AEW. I do not think he'll be a good fit, even if Triple H is in charge. Maybe I'm wrong. I really like MJF, but I think he should really kind of rethink his situation, work it out with Tony Khan, stay in AEW.
Yeah, we'll get to AEW in a little bit. But, I mean, a lot of drama is going on at AEW, not with just MJF. The Ring of Honor guys are starting a lot of crap. But let's concentrate. Who do you think that Triple H is going to push? Do you think it's going to be the normal Triple H boys, the new clique? Eric chimes in saying that he agrees. Do you think it's going to be KO? Do you think it's going to be Seth Rollins? Do you think it's going to be Drew? Do you think they're going to now finally try to get Bray back? What do you think is going to happen? And do you think that Alexa, is finally going to be like, okay, let's go back to square A and let me be me again? What are you thinking on? What are your thoughts? What is your predictions on this new era of the WWE, where the younger generation of McMahon, of the McMahon family taking over, where Stephanie and Triple H are taking over. This is what we want. Now, granted, and Joe Bruin is going to probably agree with me. There is a saying: "Be careful what you wish for," and this is what we all wish for the past few years. So, I mean, going forward, this is what we wanted. This could be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. What are you thinking? I mean, are we going to see who we want to be pushed? Or is it going to be, is NXT going to go back to the black and gold? Are we still going to have this 80s thing going on? What do you think? What do you feel is going to happen? What would you like to see is going to happen? And Eric comes back with another comment. This thought hit me last night. Does this reopen the door for Sasha Banks? Jack, answer the question first.
Ooh, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
So, first off, Triple H isn't foolish enough not to push all the people you mentioned. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns are gold. There's no reason in the world those guys shouldn't be pushed. They have to. They're outrageous talents. I don't even know what his situation with Sasha Banks is. My understanding is they have a good rapport. Maybe it leaves the door open, but I think what you're going to see Triple H really focus on, and you brought up Sasha Banks, is cleaning up the women's division, which is a gigantic train wreck. So,
yes,
first priority, because that's probably in the worst shape of anything right now. They kind of forgot about the tag team titles after that whole debacle went down, so that's even in wreckage. Will Sasha come back? I kind of don't care either way. I like her, but I think her attitude seems to be out of control. Bailey's coming back. Lacey Evans sure as hell should be getting pushed to the moon. Why she hasn't
she's not over. She can't get over. They try to put her over as a fan favorite. It fails constantly, so they have to make her into a heel. I mean, is she just not likable? Is that her problem? Is she just not a likable person? We had a lot of male talent that they tried to push over. J-Bo McNeil did have a comment that said, sad to see Vince gone, but he did have a good run. But back to Lacey Evans, is she just not a likable person? Again, we did have Eric said she's naturally a heel. Correct. Yeah, we did have a lot of male wrestlers, male talent that wanted to be a baby face, wanted to be a face. They couldn't do it because no one actually liked them, so they were constantly a heel because they were not liked.
Paul is a heel. Why in the world they're trying to push him as a face? It's the exact same thing. He's not likable.
I hope he gets his ass beat. Of course. Because no one, I mean, if you're not a likable person, if you don't have a likable soul, if you don't have a what are you trying to say, Jack? If you don't... Yeah, no, if you don't have a likable soul, if you're not a likable person, if no one likes to have you around, you're never going to get over as a face no matter what you do. You can save a gazillion old ladies from burning houses or save a gazillion orphans from drowning, and nobody likes it, you're never going to get over. But then you have someone where, like Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, they wanted him as a heel, but everyone liked him because he's such a nice, he's a generally likable guy. They had to make him a face. The same thing with The Rock. The Rock was always heel, but the crowd loved him. They had no choice but to make him into a face. She is just naturally a heel. She's not appealing. No one likes her. They try to make her this. They try to make her. Didn't work. Am I right or wrong?
But you know what? It was too little too late by the time they figured out the Marine gimmick, which, by the way, I think works great. But the timing was unfortunate where she got pregnant and it broke the momentum.
Again, yeah.
If you go back to that Marine gimmick as a heel, I think she will be tremendous. but you just have to give it a little time. But I hear what you're saying, but I do believe a lot of it was circumstantial.
All right, Eric comes back. He says, "We need a true woman heel. Lacey is that woman." Yeah, I mean, we had true woman heels before. I mean, we had Moolah, we had Sherry. Lacey can be it, yes, but I mean, she is it because no one really likes her. Plain and simple. I mean, she is a heel. I know you do, and you said that many times to me that you like her. She's a tremendous talent. She's a great worker. It's just she's not a likable person.
Right, and
And
I agree.
yeah.
She needs to be built properly as a heel, and she should be absolutely champion. I'd love to see her against Bianca Belair. And here's an honest question for everyone who's listening, because I know we talk about it, but man, is the brand split still a thing? Because I had no idea who was on Raw last night. I thought Roman Reigns and the Usos were SmackDown.
Well, no, since they're champions, they're holding both titles. They can go back and forth. Remember, they're Universal and Heavyweight, so they have both brand championships. And I do remember this when, of course, when I hear that sword in bagpipes, I'm like glued to that TV because Drew's my guy. He's my favorite. You know this. When Drew came out, it did say SmackDown next to his name.
Okay, so he's another.
I did notice that. That's because again, it's the only match that I actually started watching, and I was cooking dinner while it was on. I did say Drew McIntyre SmackDown. It did say that.
Okay, so the brand split's kind of loose, and maybe they're going to do away with that.
I don't know unless the titles get broken up. But don't forget, they have 6 titles between both of them. Yeah, I mean the Usos, they hold both brand titles, and right. Roman holds the Universal and the Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
They unified the one belt.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Carmelo Hayes is the guy who you're going to see almost immediately come up to the main roster. It seems like the most obvious situation.
Is he related to PS?
What?
Is he related to PS?
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah. You know what PS stands for, right?
No, I don't know what PS stands for.
Are you serious? You don't know what PS stands for?
No.
You swear. Eric Hunting, Joseph, I know you guys know it. Please post it in the comments right now. Joseph, I know you know it. Eric, please post what PS stands for right now, please. One of you guys have to do it. I know you're watching. Please post what PS stands for. I'm going to count to 5, and one of you two better post it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No comment for either one of them yet, or the comments are sticking tonight. PS stand for PS Michael Hayes, purely sexy.
Oh, jeez. No wonder they keep it.
Yes! Yeah! And Eric comes in and says, shit. That's what PS stood for. Purely sexy. Michael Hayes. Yes. Backstreet, Atlanta, GA. Come on now.
No.
Yes.
We don't want to be thinking about Michael Hayes being sexy.
The Freebirds. Come on now. They were an amazing tag team. They were in Highlander, for crying out loud.
Cool kind of way, yeah.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Yeah, hey, that killer sunset flip that they did. Oh my god. So great.
Dox Hendricks. Oh, let me ask you this now. Since we brought up PS Michael Hayes, and then became Doc Hendricks, which was like baffling. Do you think that now we will finally have people keep their names, their real names, or will we have harebrained indie legend or somebody from NXT come up and like, you're now Raquel Gonzalez instead of do you think we would actually get to keep their names?
I do. I think you're going to see Triple H chill out on that, but not to say that they aren't still going to do the WWE thing. I mean, Carmelo Hayes not going to go back to be Christian Casanova. They're not getting crazy. They still want to own their names, but you're not going to see
Yeah.
something like Matt Riddle being called Riddle. It's the dumbest thing. I still can't wrap my head around why that happened over and over again. So yeah, I think you're just.
All right, can we at least get rid of Butch and go back to Pete Dunne?
Oh man, I mean, seriously, gotta be, banging his head on a wall. Like, how do I undo all the dumb stuff that's happened?
I know, I know. It's just, yeah, it's ludicrous. I'm really that was one of the questions I wanted to ask, if we could actually do that, and maybe Dakota Kai will come back. Yeah, I mean, it's just,
it's gonna
please.
I think you're going to start to see, like, Triple H has a real sense of pro wrestling, not just sports entertainment. So I'm sure that when he watched that Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which, by the way, was very good, and he's seeing people like Anthony Henry, Tony Deppen, who should be signed to Ring of Honor, and I believe they both will be within the next 6 months. But when he sees those kind of guys on Ring of Honor, he's got to be thinking, oh, my God. How's Samoa Joe over there? How is this guy and that guy on Ring of Honor AEW? I do think you're going to start to see some guys come back, maybe who had left for AEW or who are on the indies. I don't think you're going to see Jonathan Gresham if he does get released by AEW Ring of Honor. But there's other guys. Like, honestly, Anthony Henry was given no chance in NXT. He's a super talent, but wasn't given anything. Anthony Green is another guy who wasn't given a chance. You might see those guys come back.
Oh, Anthony Green is tremendous. I mean, he is a great talent. How many times have we seen Anthony, of course, right here from Western Massachusetts? He's a great talent. I mean, the dude is a high flyer, knows what he does in the ring. He knows his craft. Give him a chance, man. I mean, he can definitely, he can work. He can work. He can sell. Let's go. I mean, he can do it. He could certainly do it.
Ring of Honor isn't bright enough, or just maybe they've just got too many people signed as it is. We know they have a deep roster. But, I mean, we're starting to see them bring people back at this pay-per-view who were in Ring of Honor prior to the shutdown. We saw The Righteous with Vita Von Star, Tony Deppen, Anthony Henry, like I mentioned. We saw J.D. Drake, a whole bunch of guys, obviously Jonathan Gresham. That was great. I really liked seeing that. So I'm hoping they're going to be signing some of those guys, and then they can still do their indie appearances like we're used to with the AEW talent.
Okay, so let's quickly get back to WWE, and then at the middle of the hour, we're going to be talking Ring of Honor and AEW, especially what's happening tomorrow night. But we do have a quick question from Eric. Eric says, do you think this will be a slow rebuild or an instant rebuild after SummerSlam?
Slow. It's going to be a slow build. There's just much damage done.
This is what I would like to see at SummerSlam. This is my prediction. This is the way I would like to see the booking. And now, granted, everyone's going to laugh at me because of what I'm saying. Is I would like to see Roman beat Brock. Theory come out to definitely cash in the Money in the Bank. Roman then beats Theory. Just lays him out. Then he does this whole thing. Nobody's left. I've smashed them all. Then all of a sudden no, not Goldberg. Oh, please, God, no. No, then you hear the sword. You hear the whole thing. And Drew comes out, set up for Clash at the Castle. Right? And then we finally get the match that we always wanted. Not the SummerSlam, the back on the Survivor Series debacle that we had. Oh, Drew is sick and he's not 100%, but he's still going to wrestle Roman. Remember that? And then he got pinned by Roman No. Both of them, 100%. Go to the Castle. Give us the match that we want. And that way, because Roman always backs down for Drew. Oh, no, not now. Let's do that. Let's have that. I think that's money. That's money. That's giving me goosebumps. I just think right there. Then you have a whole month. Let Roman take a month off. Drew's already been overseas. You know Drew's going to be in the main event over there. That would be perfect. And Eric says, and he leaves the sword in Tennessee. I don't get that part, but yeah, I'll do it. But yes, I mean, that would be, end the show like that. You know, with Heyman just like, no, 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 and Roman just like shaking his head. Perfect. Money there. That's storytelling, you know? Roman just saying, Eric says he's sick of the sword. That's going to be a toy. I mean, they're going to be selling just like the styrofoam 2x4s they used to have. They're going to be selling the sword pretty soon. Just watch. They will. I guarantee it. They'll start doing that. But I guarantee that's storytelling. That's how to work an ending. That's a Triple H ending right there. And that's what I would like to see. Well, what about you, Jack? What do you think about that first? First, what do you think about that?
It's repetitive, but it's WWE. So yeah, I mean, who else do they have? I mean, you and I both agree. Drew is he should be pushed to the moon. We've just seen it so many times. I don't know. It's not at the level of Brock Roman that I don't want to see it again, because I really don't want to see that again. But I love Drew McIntyre. I think he's one of the best performers. I don't care how much shit people talk about Roman Reigns. He's working on a higher level than anybody. So those wrestling, sure. I mean, I'd like to see it again. I also think they don't have any other choice.
Yeah, well, now, Drew did say last Friday. Now, I have been watching SmackDown an awful lot. Rose and I watch it every Saturday morning because there ain't no more Saturday morning cartoons, so I eat breakfast and I watch SmackDown Saturday mornings. Drew did make a comment where he kind of, I can't really recall the comment, but he said that you have one champion that's blah, 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 and he said your other choice isn't much better because he was like bantering with Sheamus. So it's like, wow, here you go. And they are making him into this, he kicked out of End of Days. He's going, back to back with everybody again. I don't know. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. The only thing I could see that would be better than that is if Triple H can talk Bray Wyatt into coming back, and that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, if Bray comes back, the place will go nuts. The place would, but as the Fiend or Bray Wyatt himself.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I think Triple H also is going to realize that when you give the performers more stake in their character, maybe not write their entire promo for them, it comes across better. And so I think he's probably going to default to Bray. I can't imagine it's not going to be some version of the Fiend, but maybe something new.
Yeah, my kid says, Neil, I will lose my mind if Bray comes back. Now, we all know how Neil feels about Bray Wyatt. He has an actual piece of Jack Purcell original art of Bray Wyatt. Right. So, yeah, we would definitely have to hose him down if Bray Wyatt comes back. So we have 2 minutes before break. Jack, tell me your end. What would you like to see at the end of SummerSlam?
Anything that's not repetitive and boring like most of what they've been doing. So like what you said is very good. I think that they're going to do something very similar to that. I think really what it's going to be, if they can generate some sort of surprise with somebody like MJF or Bray Wyatt, who they're bringing in as a fresh face, they're going to do that. But I think Drew McIntyre right now is the obvious choice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the pops he's been getting lately, especially overseas, will be just tremendous. I think he is the right choice. And I mean, who else? Who else can it be? I mean,
no, the way they've handled them, nobody. They buried everyone. I mean, Matt Riddle or Riddle, whatever, really should be a major contender for the world belt, but he's a stone joke. So that's not going to happen. And he got handled by Roman Reigns last night anyway. So, guys like him should be. Dominic Dijakovic should be, but he's a guy called T-Bar on main event, so that's not happening.
T-Bar, what a joke. All right, we're going to take 30 for a sponsor, and when we come back, we're going to talk AEW, Ring of Honor, and the SUPERCARD at the Worcester Centrum tomorrow night.
BST presents Mega Clash, August 20th from the Rafola Center in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Watch newly crowned Monarch champion Evie De La Rosa defend her title against Vita Von Star. A rivalry reignited in the main event. Lucas Chase challenges Dustin Waller in a ladder match for the BST Championship. It all comes to a head one final time.
Now, I gotta say, this BST, Blood, Sweat, and Tears card is becoming more and more stacked every week, Jack. We are going to be in for a treat there. Dustin Wallner, Lucas Chase in a ladder match. And De La Rosa, she posted a video about our girl Vita, and she's not backing down at all. She was defending her championship in Puerto Rico. I do not have that video clip, but I did send it to you on Instagram, and she was talking crap about Vita. Do you recall that? What's that?
Thunder Rosa was?
No, I did not say Thunder Rosa.
Who?
I said the champion. She was talking crap about Vita. Pay attention.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I sent it to you. Yeah, it was. I don't have the video clip to show, but yeah, she was talking crap. But my money, of course, is on Vita, and that's going to be an amazing card. If you guys are in the area, come on down and say hi, watch the matches, and buy some ink. Buy some art from Ink Slinging Jack Purcell. Jack, tomorrow night, your first AEW card ever.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to back up and say we're going to have the Haven and the Brick City Boys at Blood, Sweat, and Tears, too. So I'm just throwing it out there. Really, not exaggerating. It's a really stacked show.
It is.
Live AEW show. Unbelievable that I've never been to an AEW show because I love it so much.
This will be my third.
Yeah, I know. You tell us all about them. I love your the sincerity of the promotion. And I'm hoping to have some of my own. I'm taking my son, so it's going to be his first AEW show. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. And it really, truly is a stacked show. It's another one of the weeks that they're doing called Fight for the Fallen. It's top to bottom. Crazy what's going on. And I'm guessing that we're also going to see some dark matches that we'll see on Dark or Elevation, as well as Rampage. We know that Rampage is going to be happening. But we've got the return of Bryan Danielson. There's going to be a major LOD pop.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, against Garcia, yeah, my money is on Danielson because I don't like Garcia. I mean, the whole Jericho Society, I don't like none of them but Jericho, and of course Sammy, when Sammy shows up with them. The rest of them are all idiots, except for Hager. The rest of them, I could do it without him. Jericho surrounding himself with nincompoops to make himself look better? I don't know. I don't get it. Why? Maybe it is to make himself look better that he surrounds himself with these fools. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the booking
I don't know.
Jericho in general, I don't think has been very good with AEW. I think it's one of the faulted areas. I don't know if it's because Jericho has enough stroke to kind of push things in the direction he wants to go. But I think the booking generally is kind of stuffed around most of what he's done over this year. Let's put it that way. Against Eddie Kingston, why Eddie Kingston didn't win that match made no sense to me. But whatever. I mean, Jericho's Jericho, and I think he's super entertaining, and I love seeing him in the ring and on the mic. Yeah. But I just think it's kind of a sprawling, don't know what to do. It's like the Dark Order. I like the Dark Order, but I don't think they know what they're doing with them. They're just kind of. I think that,
I think the Dark Order is lost, and I think that I don't think they're going to go away because they are a staple in AEW. But I think that they're just there. They're comic relief now, and they're not doing. If Brody Lee, God rest, if he was still alive, it would be a total different Dark Order, than what we see today. And it's just I don't know. I don't know. Christian Cage What are your thoughts on him? I mean, if he comes out tomorrow in a Western Mass / Boston crowd, he's going to get eaten alive, especially what the crap he's been saying lately. My lord, it's going to be rough. And the Dark Luchasaurus, turning his back on Christian, which is cool. I dug that. But especially what Christian said about Jeff Hardy, that was pretty bad. Oh my god! And now, truth be told, they have a lot of animosity between the two of them, and I didn't know about that. I always thought it was hearsay, but now it's coming out like, no, Christian used to laugh whenever Jeff slipped on the rope. I was like, holy hell, this is real heat here. So I'm super excited.
Jungle Boy's father. I mean, it was dark, man. He's taking dark shots at people. So Jungle Boy's going to be there tomorrow night. There's going to be an interview segment with him, so something's going to happen. I don't know. I don't want to see Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy part ways, but we might be seeing that.
Well, they kind of got back together last week. Did you see that?
Well, you don't really know. He stepped out of his way. I wouldn't say they're back together.
Well, they got in the ring together and chased Christian Cage away. Did you see that?
You could see it wasn't resolved. You know what I mean?
Correct.
There's going to be a potential for Luchasaurus in his new black gear to turn on Jungle Boy. So who knows?
Yeah. Maybe we'll see that tomorrow night. Interim champion Mox going to be defending that belt tomorrow night as well.
Against
I know. It's going to be an amazing match. Probably blood everywhere. The women's card, the women's match, though, is kind of a letdown. I was hoping for something better. But I don't know. I just wanted something more out of the women's match. I don't know what I was expecting. I just wanted with the other matches they have on the
first, because maybe not everybody knows what it is. Because Thunder Rosa is defending the belt against Mio Yamashita.
I wasn't going to say the name. I was going to say Thunder Rosa, but I wasn't going nowhere near the Japanese lady.
Yeah, I hope I got it. But
that's the thing. I wanted maybe
the title match in an overseas match. So this is a rematch because Thunder Rosa lost in a non-title match.
I know, but see, maybe Thunder Rosa again. Maybe I wouldn't even settle for Thunderstorm against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter or something. I don't know. What I really wanted to see was Chris Statlander against anybody on the main card. But maybe we'll see that. I don't know.
Chris Statlander will be there. She'll be on Rampage.
Well, see, that's the thing. The past two cards that I've been to, she wasn't there and kind of let me down.
She'll be. I think she's going to be there for this one. She always
I hope so. I really, really hope so. Who are you expecting to see? I mean, any of our indie friends? No one is saying a word. They're all being really, really quiet. I will lose my mind if we see any of our friends there. Like Bryce Donovan last week had a dark match, and Eric says Chris Stat is the best, underutilized. Oh yeah, by all means.
Huge.
By all means.
Perry Von Vicious. We could see the Haven. There's so many people who have yet.
The Brick City Boys. They can show up, for crying out loud. They were on AEW before.
Yeah, well, they've been on a few times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, there's a multitude of talents who could be there. We could see Dan Barry again. There's just so many. But I'd like to see a debut. I'd like to see Perry Von Vicious and the Haven, who were the two most recent guests we had. I'd like to see these guys show up.
That for sure. Definitely.
Wrestling, too. He's going to be fighting absolute Ricky Starks, which I think will be awesome. I'm not going to call it a title match, but that's happening anyway. And then we get the handicap match, Swerve Strickland against Smart Mark Sterling and Tony Nese, who apparently got his jaw fractured in that punch from that rapper last week.
Yeah, I know that was pretty good. And my son is back. Neil is saying, "You know who will see good old daddy ass in the ass, boys."
Oh yeah.
And Eric says that he would lose his shit if Perry showed up. Now, I was Neil and Eric just kind of threw me off there. But Julia Hart, what are you thinking of her new look?
Great. I don't know what they're doing with her, but yeah, she looks good. I like what they're
Well,
doing with her.
I do too. I think the whole House of Black thing, I'm digging it. And Neil says my queen. That's why I brought it up. He likes these dark gothic chicks, my kid. I swear to Christ, I don't. Alexa Bliss now, Julia. I don't know. Son, we need to talk. Do you Sting and Darby versus the House of Black? How do you feel about this feud?
I mean, I can't get enough of it. Put any combination together, and I'm all for it. I think tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken, Malachi Black has a singles match on Rampage. I think that's happening. So I think you're going to see some development in that. I love it. I got to tell you, all the stuff I would say about Sting before, I'm taken back because he's proven me wrong. I still say the same thing: is I don't like seeing him do these crazy dives that he doesn't have to do, because I just don't want to see the guy break bones or,
He's a
worse.
65-year-old crazy old man. That's what he is. But you got to look at it this way. He's in better shape than Flair, better shape than Hogan. So it's like he's like Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is what? Upper 50s, almost 60, and the dude still got go-go juice. He could still go. Sting is the same way. So, I mean, what's the difference between Sting and Billy Gunn?
They're both incredible. I don't know what to say about them. I think that AEW has been smart about how they book them. There's only short little periods we see them have to go. They're not trying to extend them past what they can handle at this point. So you're only seeing little bursts from them. You see a single dive. You see Billy Gunn in a trios match. They'll get in the ring for a few minutes. Great. They're using them really well. Love seeing what they're doing. And I hope they just don't get hurt. I mean, really, ultimately, that's always my bottom line, is I just don't want it to end in a way that detracts from their legacy.
All right, now let's get back to Swerve. My last AEW show, which was up in Boston, I was never a Swerve fan until that AEW show in Boston. And I saw his interaction with the fans and how he treated the fans off camera. Immediate respect for this cat. I started watching his in-ring work. The dude's phenomenal. But the way he interacted, not just with the kids, but the adults as well. He was not standoffish with the adults. As he was walking back after the match, he stopped and he was signing autographs. He was doing all he can. I mean, people were holding up. If they had a sign with his name on it, somebody had a sign that said "Swerve for President." He stopped, signed it, posed for a quick picture. He was doing all he can and making sure he shook whatever little kid's hand that had his hand out there. And I mean, I was like, he did not have to do that, because most of the talent was just like, TV time. They were rushing, and he was just telling the people no. He was taking the time to touch everyone's hand and to say hi. Then his in the ring work, I started paying attention. Dude's phenomenal. Tomorrow night in that handicap match, Keith Lee banned from ringside. I want to see this match. I think it's going to be phenomenal. You're going to see Swerve pulling out some stuff, and of course, Keith Lee is going to show up. But I mean, why are you smiling, man? I'm being passionate right now. I think the guy's phenomenal in the ring.
Bang! I love that you've turned it around on some of these guys. We're gonna get you loving Orange Cassidy, and I feel like it's.
Oh hell no! Never, ever with him. I was glad when Warlow beat the shit out of him. No way.
Match against Will Ospreay, because if you did, it was a 5-star match.
No, I didn't. I felt. See, the thing with AEW pay-per-views. Hold on, and Eric says it's my mission, Jack. The thing with AEW pay-per-views is they're 18 hours long.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the thing,
Right.
and they start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they end at 6 o'clock the next morning on a Friday. And it's like, what the? And they're action packed and they just keep going. And who has time to go back and rewind? And when you're watching it on the Bleacher Report or Fight TV, depending on which app you're watching it on, because they're not always on the same app, they jump back and forth on what app you have to watch it on. It's really bizarre. You can't fast forward it. Sometimes you got to rewatch the whole thing. It's crazy. So no, I did not watch it.
Well, let me tell you, I think when you get the pay-per-views on Bleacher Report, you can go back and watch it again. I'm telling you.
No, you can. You can, but it's like sometimes I think it's either Fight TV or the Bleacher Report. One of the two, you actually have to rewatch it from the beginning. You can't fast forward it. So I'm not going to sit through 18 hours again. I was like, oh, hell no.
Here's what you do. Just look it up online, how many minutes in, and then you let it play. You time it, set an alarm on your phone, go back and watch it.
Yeah, well, you have a teenage daughter. I want to watch soccer. I want to watch Criminal Minds. Shut the hell up and go to your room and watch your own damn TV. I'm going to let this play so I can talk to Uncle Jack next week. No, it ain't going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. It can't. So it's just like, it's crazy.
Well, anyway.
I mean, you know it's a long pay-per-view when you have your two boys, okay, two grown-ass boys, but one's 21 and the other one's 22, and they both call it. They both tap out. They're like, no, this is too friggin' long. Huh? Neil goes home and Cody goes to bed. It's just crazy. Yes! Yeah.
I'm going to have to come over to straighten everybody out. Watching. How can anyone complain about that level of quality? I know it's long, but take a power nap. Do what you got to do before the show. I never complain.
That's the thing. I did. And this is the last AEW pay-per-view was on a Saturday night, and I did take a power nap. I went to sleep, and we all know I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, but this is on a Saturday, and I was like, screw this. I can't. No, I got to go to bed. I was tired.
Yeah,
it was just, And Neil and Cody both, they tapped out too.
I mean, those guys have no excuse. Look,
you yell at them tomorrow night. You see, Neil's not even commenting now. You yell at them both.
Show tomorrow night and be like, you guys are not allowed to go to bed until the pay-per-view's done. Your ass sits there until it's finished.
I'm just saying. And Neil is here saying he's just sitting there laughing because he knows it's true.
I've got to talk, brother. I don't like what I'm hearing. I cannot believe you guys aren't seeing the AEW pay-per-views through. But maybe Lewis is exaggerating. He's trading Z's halfway through anyway. Maybe he doesn't know.
I am not. I am not exaggerating. Really quick, who are you excited to see tomorrow night live for the first time ever?
Oh, God, there's so many. I mean, geez, who I've never seen before. Oh, my God, there's not that many there who I haven't seen. Daniel Garcia is definitely one of them. Roosh is absolutely another one of them. Brody King, who I think is going to be wrestling. Darby Allin, who I was supposed to see on 2 different indie shows, but he canceled appearances both times. So those guys, for me, the ones I haven't seen, I'm probably the most excited to see them. Thunder Rosa is another one. I can't wait to see Thunder Rosa.
Okay. All right. I can't say I've seen them all already. Yeah, there were all the shows that all the shows that I've been to.
Oh, Wheeler Yuta. I really want to see.
The first time I saw Wheeler, it was him and Mox. And that one of my favorite matches of all time. That was a 5-star match that night. Blood everywhere. I'm expecting to see a lot of blood in Mox's match tomorrow, and I just can't wait. We're going to be sitting there tomorrow night in the thick of it at this very moment. It's going to be fantastic. You are in for a serious treat tomorrow night, my friend.
I can't wait. so pumped about it. I'm going to see Thor with my son in the morning and AEW in the afternoon.
You're in for one hell of a day. It's going to be fantastic.
And let
Fantastic.
me, because we were talking about people who have been on AEW and people with Ring of Honor, AEW. But here's another show to look forward to that's coming up quick on August 14th on a Sunday in West Springfield, Massachusetts at an amazing brewery, 2 Weeks Notice Brewery. VSK is defending the Bedlam title against Tony Deppen, who we just saw and we just talked about on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Those guys are fighting a title match, and the guests we just had on the Haven, who I can't wait to see this match, are fighting the Shook Crew, Bobby Orlando, who I believe this week or next week's making his AEW debut, and Bryce Donovan, who we talked about, just had that match with Wheeler Yuta. Those two teams are going head-to-head.
Well, is Bobby Jr. making his debut in AEW as well? No. Oh. Wow. That's too bad for Bobby Jr. I mean, he's got a that's heartbreaking. Poor little guy. I know that. I mean, Danhausen would definitely buy one. You know, sure. I know. I mean, poor Bobby Jr. Wow. Let's talk Ring of Honor and the Little Man Syndrome. A lot of drama going on, and I mean, can one person have such an ego that will get? Well, then again, you think about Bret Hart, but I mean, why shoot yourself in the foot when your career is not as big as a Bret Hart or as big as a Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage or Shawn Michaels? I mean, for the dude to do what he did and to scream at the person that he screamed at, that was kind of career suicide. Do you agree?
I do, and I got to tell you, I think he's got zero shot at getting hired by WWE, NXT, whatever. And I don't think everyone's career is about money. So don't get me wrong. But I feel like if you want a career and you want to get paid well, then you probably want to be working for AEW/Ring of Honor or WWE/NXT. I mean, some people would be like, oh, we can go to New Japan, you can do this and that. I don't think Jonathan Gresham is going to be...
See, I didn't want to say the guy's name, but I mean, for those in the know, for those that follow professional wrestling in the news, I'm sure they knew who I was talking about. But the dude was, what is he thinking? I mean, go ahead, continue.
Well, Terminus is his indie show that he does, and I think he's had 3 shows, and Swerve was part of one of them. You know, they apparently are very successful, but you're not making loads of money doing those shows. I mean, it's more of a passion project. So what I'm saying is, I don't know what Jonathan Gresham's priorities are in his life. You know, he's clearly, you know, married to Jordan Grace. She also has trouble
for now.
You know, unfortunately, doesn't know when to keep it shut occasionally, especially when it came to the whole Chris Benoit situation recently. So I don't know what's going on with those guys. You know, I don't know. I don't know what their priorities are. I'm not really even judging them, but I am saying it seems clear to you and I anyway, that if you want to have a career where you're going to have financial gain going on, you probably want to eventually be working in one of the 2 companies we mentioned. I don't know what Impact pays Jordan Grace, but I'm willing to bet it's a small percentage of what she would make in what we would consider the big 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if she were to leave, I mean, I would say people know Jordan Grace more than they know Jonathan Gresham.
100%.
All right. And not to mention that she's more bigger than her husband as well.
She's phenomenal. I mean, really
yes, she is. She's more popular than him. She's definitely social media. She has more followers. Not just because she's a beautiful woman and the things that she posts. I'm just saying, plain and simple. You know, though she did get in trouble because she said something about Nancy Benoit or Chris Benoit after her husband said something, but she retracted her statement. She goes, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way." She went through a whole bunch of stuff, deleted her post or whatever, because she was smart.
She was. Now, she did her best to make it right. I give her credit. But,
Yeah.
she just seems to be really she's not even keeled. Let's put it that way. It would be nice about it. That's about the nicest thing to say. I think she's a super talent. I really like her a lot, and I would love to see her come to AEW or even WWE. But I really think, she's got to think twice before she starts talking.
I think it's just influence of her husband. That's what I think it is. Because if you think about it, we also had that with Taya Valkyrie and Morrison. Taya got Morrison fired for what she said. So it's like it's kind of it watch what you say because it's going to hurt somebody else. And so if she stand by your man is the saying. So of course he says something, she's going to say something. And she's like, wait a minute, I'm more popular than him. She probably gets paid more money than him in Impact. So she's like, I better retract that. Or I'm sure her agent probably said something and is like, you better retract that statement. So definitely, if she came to WWE or if she went to AEW, superstar immediately.
100%.
Immediately. She would bypass everything in the main event. She's a great worker, great seller. She works the mic, and she's just phenomenal.
Yeah,
But she's being held back. Why is she being? Maybe it's her Impact contract. Maybe it's not up yet, or is it because she can't keep her trap shut and because she's being held back by her husband? We don't know. There has to be a reason why one of the big two did not go after her yet.
Well,
because
when after her, but she re-signed with Impact for whatever the reason she made that choice. I can't believe for 2 seconds the WWE has not offered her something. So maybe this time around, when her contract expires in a year or two, maybe that'll happen. She's still really young.
I know, but it's also you could be blacklisted. I mean, you could be. Yeah, it's quite possible that you're blacklisted because of association. I mean, if this dude, all right, great. When Impact had to deal with WWE, Forbidden Door, cross promotion, they also had the same deal prior with AEW. Not once did they offer the door for her to go back and forth. There has to be an issue. Why did they not use her? Either one of those two promotions. Come on, they brought Mickie James over. Why not her? There has to be an issue. There has to be some kind of issue. That's all I'm saying. So, I mean, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's no question now that you're not going to see AEW trying to scoop up Jordan Grace. There's no doubt about that. But WWE...
Well, just to piss him off, yeah.
Right. Triple H in charge now. He knows who Jordan Grace is. He knows what she can do in the ring. I'd be willing to bet you're going to see her go to WWE if she wants to go when her contract's up. So I would say, in the next year or two, my guess is if things stay on the course they are, you'll see her go to WWE.
Now, we just talked about Lacey Evans and trying to get her over as a heel. Imagine now, Lacey Evans, she is a brick house. You have someone with Jordan Grace's body and size. Those two in the ring, oh my God, that'll be like Drew and Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? It'll be like two just people in a meat grinder. It'll be amazing. Just amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All about it.
Yeah, or Bianca against Jordan. It'll be like it will not be no flip. Yeah, you'll have your acrobatics, but it's gonna be nothing but power moves.
Yeah, even Bayley. I mean, Bayley's going to be coming back. I'd love to see.
Correct.
Mentioned.
Yes. All right, Jack, we're coming up on an hour. Please tell everyone where they can find you, get some wonderful art, and where they can get a commission.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. I don't know if you go to comic conventions, if you've been to Fan Expo, but I am going to be a guest at Fan Expo Boston on August 12, 13, 14. So please do come by. If you're looking for a commission, print, signature, I can sign your DC books. I know, Lewis, I'll sign your Batmans. Calm down. But if you want to come down there and say hello, please do. Patreon.com, look up Jack Purcell. I've got commission deals on there. If you want to get a good deal on a commission, support me there. It's pretty inexpensive, and I do previews of all my artwork there. And you can find me on social media, Jack Purcell Inc. on Instagram, Facebook, Faces and Heels Podcast on Instagram, Faces and Heels on Facebook. And then we got Lewis Perry.
You can find me every Monday night on The Angry Geek Show, and every Tuesday night on the Faces and Heels Podcast, and then Friday nights I'm like hanging out with Mark May doing some crazy stuff every once in a while when he needs me. But you can find The Angry Geek Show debuting this week on Roku's Pod TV. You have been watching The Angry Geek Show on Pod TV. Visit our website today. And for guest bookings, email us at theangrygeekshow@gmail.com today.